Broadcasting live from the Teddy Belanger studio in Rome, New York. Welcome to episode 68 of the Avetts and Beyond. My name is Todd Emanuele, and a special guest joining me here for the first time, it seems like in ages. It's been months. You've been so busy. Dan Zlotnick is finally back on the show. I've been saying it for the longest time that we got to get you back on, and you're back. Dan, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. I feel like at one point I was going to be your co-host, and then now I'm just like, every once in a while. But it's good to see you, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Co-host that you fell off the face of the earth because you got busy with your music, which is a good thing.
Yeah, just a couple things. It's the music.
The baby
just turned a year, so she's taking a lot of my time and energy in a good way, and giving me a lot of time and energy. And summertime's here, so Melissa's off from school. She's a teacher, and we are just doing everything that we can during the day.
And now you're going to hit the road, right? That's coming up.
Yeah. So originally the plan was that they would come with me, but we thought kind of like a 1-year-old on a 12-hour car trip is probably not ideal. So she's going to skip this tour. I'll be out by myself, FaceTiming and crying in the car, missing my family. But, it'll be great.
How long's it been since you've actually been away from her? Like, have you been away from her?
There was one weekend. I had a trip with some friends a few months ago for like one weekend, and that was tough.
Okay.
And this one, I think this will be 3 or 4 days total. I think 4. But yeah, it'll be tough, but the shows are a good distraction from missing the family.
I guess so, man. But as soon as that show's over, then it sets back in that.
Oh yeah. It's like we always talk about like Cora's bedtime routine. It's like, no, now we have our own bedtime routine. So I'm going to have to get used to getting out of that too.
Oh boy. That's not easy. And I know with my kids, I don't think I was away from any of them for more than a day until my daughter went to college. And then it's like, she's just gone now. What do I do?
Yeah, right. No,
she it's every once in a while, but it's definitely not easy. But so it's fun being a dad though, right?
Oh, it's amazing. And it's getting better and better and better. Every day you wake up and she's saying more things, she's laughing more, she's making more jokes. It's been a blast. It
gets a lot better. It's crazy how fast that beginning part goes. Like when they're tiny baby, like it feels like an eternity. I think we've talked about this before. It feels like an eternity, but then you look back, all of a sudden she's already a year old. It's like, that's ancient history.
Yeah. Well, I'm loving my new name. I don't know where that is.
Dad's Zlotnick.
Yeah.
Thank you, producer Ryan Boyles.
Yeah, it threw me off. I have no idea what your question was, but or what you just said. But
I can't remember either. Something about the baby routine going so fast.
Oh yeah, and it's like once you think you have it figured out, you change the nap schedule and a whole new thing. So it's just but it's easier for me. Like now, it's easier to go grocery shopping. It's easier to take the dog for a walk. Those things have been nicer, and it's correlated with the weather too.
Don't leave her home alone though. When you do,
no, that I know. Yeah, no, we take her on. I don't know.
That's good. Whew. All right. Didn't want to let him take that.
End up in the news. No.
So you are hitting the road very soon. Tell us about the next tour, because you're going like out of state.
Yeah, so I've ever since Cora was born, I have wanted to go out on the road with the family and all that. And just for this trip, it ended up where this one weekend I had Thursday through Sunday completely open. And I said, I got to go see my friends in Virginia and North Carolina, which are kind of outside of New York, Connecticut, this kind of area. That has been my kind of hub where I can go and expand off of that from. But, the people in those areas have been so generous and such great listeners and great supporters of me that I was like, all right, this is my first time going out. I need to go to Virginia and North Carolina. So starting in Richmond, Virginia on Thursday, July 11th, I'm going to Salisbury, North Carolina, and I'm playing with some guy named David Childers.
Oh, we know David.
And David Childers also introduced me to Liam Pendergrass, who's a phenomenal singer-songwriter. So the three of us are kind of splitting that night, and kind of who knows what's going to happen on that night. We might do separate sets. We might do some stuff together. We're all the kind of people that just want to play, and so it might be some really kind of fun jamming and that sort of thing. And then I have an open date right now on the 13th, and then I'm heading back up to the Richmond area, Henrico, Virginia, for the Wine Whisper. It'll be like a little afternoon wine and some tunes. So if you're around, come on out.
So how do people, can you get tickets online? I know we just saw like the website on, if you're watching on YouTube, but tell us how people can go and check you out.
All the shows are free.
Oh, nice.
There's a chance that the night in Salisbury, North Carolina will have like a $5 cover was what she was considering.
Okay.
I'm not positive on that yet, but everything else is free. And so you just show up, and all the information is there at danzlotnick.com, or, I'm very accessible. If I'm not like changing a diaper or whatever, you send me a message on Instagram or an email. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
So you mentioned diapers. I know she's only a year old. Have you started the potty training thing yet?
No, not yet. Are you talking about for me or for her? Because I am potty trained, but
congratulations
with her.
Good job. It only took you 30 whatever years.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah. So no potty training for the young one.
No, not yet.
Little early. Yeah, you got time. You got some time. That is probably the best thing, because you save so much money.
Yeah.
Oof, those diapers. They're not getting any cheaper either, I'm sure.
No, and there's a lot of them. It's like, it's crazy. I guess she's eating a lot, so it's got to go somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, into your lap, basically. All right, so shows, you're hitting the road. People can go see it. Go to the website. Go to your social media. You can see where all that is. You've been busy. I mean, we really haven't talked in a long time. You've had a lot of new music come out. Tell us about everything that's been going on in your life, music-wise.
Yeah, so it's funny. I don't know if we talked about this, but I really thought that I was going to stop writing songs when Cora was born, because that was the thing that was the hardest for me to do. It was like you could always convince yourself that you could go send another booking email or update your website or work on social media graphics and that sort of thing. But because I'm home with her on the floor, chasing her around now, it's easier for me to hold a guitar and sing and just kind of make stuff up as we go. So I've got quite a few children's songs written. I've got some new regular, not like adult songs, because I think kids will like them too, but, songs that I would kind of fit with the rest of my catalog. And then the most exciting thing I have is that I wrote and have recorded and I've finished it. It's all set to go. The single greatest Christmas song that has ever been written. And yeah, everyone that has heard it agrees it's better than anything that anybody's ever written. So there's going to be another Christmas song written by a Jewish guy out in the world later this year.
Can you publicly play that yet?
I actually have. And if you dig around on my social media, you might find it. But since I've played it live, there's been quite a few changes, so it might not even be all that recognizable to you.
So do you know it well enough to play it like right now, or is it too? It's Christmas.
I think we got to wait for it. For this one. I'll give you another unreleased song at some point.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm excited for that Christmas.
Yes, yeah. It's very exciting, and I am never really good at sitting on music, and so now I'm getting to the point where I go, okay, I've got 15 to 20 songs that I'm pretty happy with, and okay, like I would start listening to music differently, going, oh, I like the way those drums sound, or I like the way the acoustic guitar sounds in that song, and now I'm starting to put some recording ideas together and see what we can do.
So is it in your brain you said you have all these children's songs written. Is that going to be an album? You're going to put out a kids record?
I would like to at some point. Yeah. And that's, one of the things about performing so much is that it's really hard to slow down and find time to either think about it or schedule studio time, or and
Yeah.
of course pay for studio time and all that is wrapped up into it. But it is in my mind to have, I've got these children's songs, I've got these regular songs, I've got a Christmas song now, and it's like
Man,
let's start coming up with a plan to get it out there.
a children's Christmas album.
That could be it.
I
Yeah.
can feel it. I can feel it coming. That's really cool. The
Yeah.
Christmas song is surprising to me. Like,
Yeah. I had the concept in my mind, and it just like it came out pretty easily. And then there's a local studio that it's called the Coop, and they hired a bunch of studio musicians, and I'm used to playing with the Dan Zlotnick band. I got my guys Al on the bass, James on the drums, but I was like, you know what, for something like this, I can use some other studio musicians and see what comes out. And these guys were awesome, and they just rocked it out, including John Cobert, who is on my live album, the keyboard player and vocalist. So it's kind of fun.
now he's the guy that's played with John Lennon and all that, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's played with everyone. It's pretty cool.
That is really cool. All right, so closer to Christmas, obviously, we're going to be able to hear that.
Yes. Yeah.
You're going to put it out on Spotify, I assume?
Oh, it'll be out there. Yeah, it'll be on Spotify. It'll be on every radio station. It'll be in Macy's when you're doing your Christmas shopping.
Of course, right.
I'll be at the Thanksgiving Day parade or whatever, singing it when Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Or I think that's my expectation. So I don't want to set the bar too high, but I think that's pretty realistic.
I think you already set it pretty high by saying it's the best Christmas song ever. So
yeah. Yeah, that seems fair.
Confidence is good, man. That's
no, but it's a fun one. That'll give you.
Well, I'm gonna dig for it. If you said it's somewhere on your social media,
exactly.
I'm gonna try to find that tonight. But looking forward to that. So what else music-wise? Like new music, since we've talked, you've released more stuff on the digital platforms and all that, right?
I think so. I can't remember exactly when we talked, but the last thing I released was a Pink Floyd cover called "See Emily Play."
Oh yeah,
and that's an old song from the Syd Barrett era of Pink Floyd. And my publisher, TRO Essex Music Group, celebrated their 75th anniversary this year, and so they did this kind of like, let's reimagine all these great old songs with our new writers and our new artists on our roster. And so that was a song they suggested for me, and you listen to it and you go, okay, I don't really understand what this song is doing. It's all these kind of funky sounds and different changes in beats and all that stuff. And so James, Al, and I went into the studio and we said, let's just play this as if I had written it. So how would, what would the drums be like? What would the guitars sound like? What would the pace of the song be? And it kind of came out and you go, wow, this is kind of a rockin' song that originally was this very trippy, kind of Pink Floyd,
right,
spliced together. I don't know, composition, I guess. Yeah.
But if you cover a song, isn't that what they say? You should make it your own. So to sit down and actually think it out and make it your own, that was a smart move.
Yeah, and I think that's what they wanted, is that they have these songs and they're great songs, and a great song should be able to withstand many different covers. And so on the same compilation, there was another artist who did a phenomenal kind of stripped down version of Black Sabbath's War Pigs, and it's kind of piano heavy. There's no electric guitar solo or anything like that, and it's just really some creative ways to take music and to literally reimagine it as your own stuff, or as something completely different than what you're used to.
I like that. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm wearing my Couch Crew shirt.
Oh, there you go.
Tell me about Dan Zlotnick's Couch Crew. The
Couch Crew is this kind of, it's a Facebook group that I created because, sort of like I was saying with the Richmond or Virginia and North Carolina, it's like I felt like I have these really strong pockets of fans, and it's like I always feel uncomfortable saying the word fans because they feel like friends too. Like,
Right.
I'm not at the level where I'm like playing shows and all these people are showing up who I have no idea who they are. It's like I feel like I know everyone that comes to my shows.
That'll happen after the Christmas song comes
Well,
out.
that, yes, yeah, yes. So at least through this year, I feel like I know so many of my fans by name.
Sure,
They feel
right.
like that they are part of something that is very intimate and very homey. And I
Isn't
always
that awesome though? To be able to count on that? Like you show up in a place, you know who you're gonna see.
yeah, and you were going through my show schedule before. The one after the tour is an Italian restaurant in my hometown, and people will show up and sit at the bar, and I can go an hour with going down the line and going, here are the requests for these people, here are the requests for these people, and not just the classic rock songs that everyone loves. They like my songs, and that's a really special thing to have in what most people would call is just a regular old bar gig or a restaurant gig.
Right,
So
you get to play all original stuff. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So I feel like I get to be myself. I've got my friends and family in front of me, and I can feel like everybody, we're just hanging out on a couch, sharing stories, eating dessert, having a beer,
Yeah.
whatever feels right.
It's like you're sitting around a campfire almost, right?
Yeah, exactly. And but when you're in New York, that's a limited season, so the couch is always in season, and
You
that's
have
why
to find an alley somewhere with a burning trash can, or
yeah. There you go.
if you're in the city.
If you're yeah, I mean, my music is versatile. It could fit in a lot of different situations.
All right, so people can find your music obviously anywhere that music is available, and they should go and download, add your songs to playlists, like you follow you, all that stuff, because that all helps with the algorithm. I know we've talked about the old algorithm before.
Yeah.
Now, what have you been listening to lately? I'm interested in that. Like, have you been listening to any new music, just old stuff, or
I was listening to some new Nathaniel Rateliff recently.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I this was something I posted in the Couch Crew group. I've been listening to Darkness on the Edge of Town, the Bruce Springsteen album. And the reason was, and so my drummer, James Marciano, is probably the biggest Bruce Springsteen fan that I know. And so we talk about him a lot as we're setting up for gigs and that sort of thing. We were talking about how Born to Run is a perfect album. There's nothing wrong with it. But Darkness on the Edge of Town is like, if you were to say, if an alien came down and said, what is Bruce Springsteen, you would play Darkness on the Edge of Town, because it's got it's just the sound, it's the attitude, it's the glockenspiel and like all that stuff that just kind of feels like Bruce. And so I've been listening to that a lot. I've been listening to a band called Pine Grove, which I believe is based in New York, and that is sort of they have an album called Marigold that one of my friends sent me and said, this is the sound. This is like the sound of the album that you want to record next. It's kind of like this. You can put the headphones on and go, this is a band in a room playing songs together. And it could be that they recorded it that way. It could also be that there are just some studio tricks to make it sound like that. But that it's just really a great sounding album.
That's cool. All right. So I asked you what you're listening to because I'm trying to get like music for the rest of this episode to play around interviews. So I'll play some of those.
For Pine Grove, the song is Endless.
Endless?
Endless. Yeah. That's the one that I can play that on repeat. And it's a beautiful song, and it just sounds awesome.
Now, are you going to cover that? Are you going to?
I've tried.
I mean, 30 seconds of every song ever created, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can do a little bit of it, but it's like one of those things where it's that capturing of it was so good that I feel like I do it and I go, I don't need. The world doesn't need my version of this.
Okay,
it's already got the real one.
I can't wait to listen. I've never heard of them before.
I think you'll like it.
Asking guests what they want to play because it opens me up to new music, which I enjoy. All right, so What song off the Springsteen album do you think is the quintessential one off of that album?
I mean, the album starts with Badlands, which you go, okay, I'm just getting just punched in the face by the E Street Band. But I love The Promised Land, which I have covered and I released on my live album.
Right.
And then Prove It All Night is just like, that to me might be the one, the song of the album where you go, okay, this is Bruce.
Glockenspiel, you need that on your Christmas song too. Just saying.
Oh, it's in there. It's in there. Oh, it is? Yeah, don't worry about it. Todd, I wouldn't be so confident if I didn't have the Glockenspiel.
I'm not giving you any ideas here. You already had that in mind. So good for you. Good for you. I'm no help. Man, I can't wait to hear the song.
Yeah, I mean, I might sneak you a little preview. I don't know.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It is July after all.
I'll sneak you a little preview on Christmas Eve.
Can you come to our house and play it in person?
Yeah. But we'll lock your phones away and we'll
can you come down our chimney into our fireplace?
I don't think I could fit.
No,
thank you. Yeah,
that'd be worth a shot. I think. I don't know. I'm friends with the deputy fire chief in our city.
Yeah,
so I could have him standing by to help get you out and get stuff.
Perfect.
Anyway, can you play something for us? I know that's your guitar right there.
Let's do it.
Someone tried sneaking in your door a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, I think that might have been Melissa looking to make sure the dog was not
okay, going crazy,
roaming around the neighborhood or anything like that.
So what are you gonna play? I know you didn't plan on anything here, so
yeah. So just talking about the busy schedule and all that stuff, and missing your family. It's like there's and connecting this to the Avett brothers. I know Joe Kwan is a father and leaves for long tours. And
have you seen his posts recently about leaving home and all that? It's oh God, I feel it because I live
right, and that's what every, not that I'm on tour constantly, but to be leaving home every night to go play music, it's my job and it's important that I make money that way and all that stuff, but it still sucks. There's no, it's you're still leaving your family. It's still I'm getting home, Melissa's in bed getting ready for the next day. I'm I'm coming home to a dark house.
Right.
And so I wrote this song about wanting to find that balance again of not playing necessarily 4 nights a week just because I can, or just because people are asking me to, or just because I've made, certain connections and that sort of thing. So
I mean, I think that's the Avett brothers toured so much before, and their kids are older, and Joe just had a baby.
Yeah,
they tour for, it seems like, a couple weeks at a time, then they take a few weeks off.
Yep. And that's it makes sense, and it's everybody's trying to figure that part of it out, and so it's it can be really complicated, and every family is different. I know people who are the husband, both partners are musicians, or
that's gotta be tough.
It can be tough. It can work. It can be something that you're constantly evolving.
Right.
But I wrote this song about that, and this is called Next to You. This is another unreleased one.
Ooh, exciting.
But yeah, so no Christmas song, but
this will do.
Another new one. I gotta get my this is a Wilson Soundcraft guitar. Paul Wilson made this. Beautiful. It's just an incredible guitar, but this is so beautiful. I want to make sure you can see.
Yeah, give his website out stuff too, man. Plug it.
WilsonSoundcraft.com. Here we go. This is called Next to You. I come home in the morning. Your bags are packed by the door. I climb in bed to a warning. When you say you need more, and I know it's true, 'cause I need more too. Of everything I've wished for, and all I long to do, with all my blind ambition, all I ever wanted to be was next to you. When dreams go running wild, they leave some love behind. Let's walk this country mile between your lips and mine. And I know it's true, 'cause I need more you. Of everything I've wished for, and all I long to do, with all my blind ambition, all I ever wanted to be was next to you. The sun breaks through our window, my heart beats loud and clear, like a man without a shadow. I am standing next to you right now, right here. Of everything I've wished for, and all I long to do, with all my blind ambition, all I ever wanted to be was next to you. All I ever wanted to be was next to you.
Oh man, that is a beautiful song.
Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it.
That is my next favorite Dan Zlotnick song right there. When is that coming out?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the inspiration that has been coming to me constantly about sounds and recording and all that stuff just pours into a studio one day. We'll
that song was perfect. That's a perfect song.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I
Like,
don't know if it's perfect, but I appreciate it.
it's amazing. That was just that's so good. Look at Ryan with the graphic.
Oh yeah,
Look at that.
Soundcraft.
So do you remember? You must remember where you were when you wrote that and all that stuff. Tell me about that.
That's a good question. I actually don't. I do remember the first time I played it, like straight through, and that's kind of like where, I'll set up a voice memo and record it, and you know what? Actually, I remember coming up with that that part. I remember sitting on the floor in the living room with Melissa and Cora around, and then I think the next day I kind of got the lyrics out. But the first time I played it, I was playing it for Cora, who I think was like 3 or 4 months old at the time, sitting in a bouncer, and Ruby the dog was with us. And as I'm getting to the bridge, sun breaks through our window, Cora had a bowel movement, and Ruby threw up on the floor at the exact same time. So I've warned some audiences that I don't, when I first started playing it, I was like, I don't know if the song did this or if it was just a coincidence. But, the last time I played this, just a heads up, if you feel anything rumbling, you might want to excuse yourself. I
had no issues.
No issues. Yeah.
So 1 for 2.
But yeah, no, it was one of those ones where you just kind of, it came out, and it's a little bit exaggerated in certain parts, but it was, the sentiment, like we talked about, is there.
Yeah.
It's like, if you take every gig, you're going to miss out on
everything
with your family, hanging out with your friends, and it doesn't just apply to musicians. It's a lot of different trades that will.
It's everything. Yeah, anything. You could be at work, you miss those first steps, you're never going to get that back.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, that's such a great song.
Thank you.
I want that on my phone right now to put it in my Spotify so I can listen.
Thank you.
One
day. Hopefully not too long. We'll see.
I could take the audio off of this and I could listen to it whenever I want. So,
there you go.
There you go. Anyway, that's great stuff. I love it. Do you have others like that rattling around that?
Yeah, I've got a few, and then I've got some few that are like, have a little more of a sense of humor. I've got some that are a little bit more rocking, a little bit funkier. I think, like, I look at this collection of songs and I go, this is kind of a cool collection. I think these will be fun to have next to each other, and like any album, it has to be cohesive because you're recording it at the same time, you're releasing it at the same time.
Sure.
But subject wise, you can kind of see how far you can push the boundaries in either direction and go, okay, this is going to be a really sad, longing kind of song like Next to You, but then I have another song that's about how badly I want a minivan. There's no deeper meaning to it. It's like, but these are the things that I've been thinking about, is, and if the Christmas song does well, I'll get my minivan. But
you might get a whole fleet of minivans with the goals that you have for that.
From your mouth to God's ears, Todd.
Of Dan Zlotnick minivans, you can get them painted with.
That'd be so great.
Yeah, unreal, with a glockenspiel on it.
Yeah. The way to fit it, you got to get a minivan.
Yeah, have you listened to the Avetts new album?
Yes. Yes. A couple times, not a ton.
There's a lot of sad songs on there. Now, I'm a sucker for sad songs, so I absolutely love it. Yes. But there's some lively songs in there too, a couple of them. But
absolutely, and that's what life is like. If you don't have one, or you can't have one without the other. So, sometimes you're in a place where the sad stuff is what is pouring out of you, and you end up with 8 sad songs and 2 more upbeat songs. Even the sad songs that I write, I try to, have a little twist of hope, at the end or somewhere in there, that that life will get a little better.
Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough being away. I hope nothing important happens in Cora's life during the 4 days you'll be gone.
Yeah, I already talked to her about that. She's already taken her first step. She said a couple words.
Okay, that's the big stuff right there.
Yeah, so we're good.
So what's playing guitar? Has she started lessons yet?
Well, if I'm playing on the floor, she'll come over and start strumming it, which is pretty cool. And that was another wild thing, was to see her go from like hitting the guitar to actually putting her thumb on a string and plucking it.
Wow!
Wow, this is pretty cool.
And I've heard her singing with you, like when you do live streams. Like that's not by accident. She's singing with you.
No, we've had multiple healthcare professionals say, "Oh, she's going to be a talker. She's got a voice. She's not afraid to
be a singer. She's going to be a singer-songwriter. You guys can start the Dan Zlotnick duo or whatever, Zlotnick duo.
Could be.
Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, I can't wait for that song to come out. Next to You. Really excited for that one. That's a really great song. I'm not just saying that because you're here. I really enjoyed that a lot. It's really good. All right, so we're running out of time here. So tell me about the tour again, your social media, how people can go and find your music, and then we'll let you get out of here and go to bed, because I know it's
So the tour is going to be July 11th through 14th. I'm starting in Richmond, going down to North Carolina, Salisbury, North Carolina, and then back up to Richmond on the 14th. So if you go to danzlotnick.com, you'll get all the tour dates, but you can also find me on social media at Dan Zlotnick. It's on Facebook, it's on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, wherever you get your music, Spotify, all that stuff. What's that?
You on Threads too?
I am on Threads. I haven't posted much on there, I don't think, other than maybe automatically from Instagram. But
Oh, does it post automatically from there? I didn't know.
I think one of the services automatic. Yeah, I
Oh,
think so.
okay.
I don't know if it's
That makes it easier because I've never posted anything on there.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, but yeah, I'm out there at Dan Zlotnick, and more importantly, come be part of the couch crew. Come hang out. We'll talk about the important, funny, sad, happy things in life. And
I'm a
most
charter
of
member.
those, I'll be performing. You'll just kind of listen.
Yeah, charter member of the couch crew right here.
Yes.
I wore this shirt all over Las Vegas last 2 weeks ago.
Was it good luck for you?
No.
All right.
It wasn't your fault.
Cut that out.
Yeah, I did not. Let me say this. I went for a week. I brought a certain amount of money with me. I did not spend more than that. Planning on gambling like a little bit each night. I was about an hour into day one, and I was out of money.
Yep. That is how it works.
No more gambling after that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you stopped. That's important.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do any further. I'm not a gambler, so, and it showed.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, nobody asked me about the shirt either, which I was upset. I thought someone would ask me about the shirt so I could promote you a little bit, but
one day. Well, I appreciate it.
People are busy out there doing things in
Yeah.
Vegas. All right, Dan. Well, thank you so much for coming on again. We'll have to have you back again. This was your fourth appearance?
Was it? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You got to get one more. You get the smoking jacket, whatever we talked about.
Yeah, I get my own locker at the studio.
Yeah, in my basement, in the Teddy Belanger studio.
I love it.
Did you hear that story? You probably didn't hear that story.
I don't think so.
I don't know if I want to bore you with it right now, but just say that Shonda and Jim Belanger, my laptop died a couple weeks ago, and it's the only way I can do my show.
Yeah.
They sent me a brand new laptop. Like, Jim's an IT guy. He sent me a laptop because he enjoys my show. And he's like, here you go. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? So I named the studio after their dog, Teddy.
I love it. I love it.
Teddy's the best.
That's incredibly nice.
It blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. So the show continues thanks to the Belangers. All right, Dan, we'll let you go. Thank you so much again. And we'll talk to you soon. Good luck down the road.
Thanks, Todd.
All right. Bye-bye.